have so much to say. I'm so excited to be here. Okay, so I want to start with
what inspired you to become a doula?
What inspired me to become a doula? When I was 16 years old, I got pregnant with my first child. I was in the foster care system, and I was pretty good at being a juvenile delinquent at that time. But I also didn't want to continue the cycles that had been laid out before me from my mom and from my grandparents and kind of beyond and down the line. And I was very determined, especially because people were like, you're going to be just like your mom. So I was very determined to be like, yeah, right, watch me. I had my baby the way I wanted to. And people were really surprised by that because I was a teenager who didn't want an epidural. But to be honest, I was just much more freaked out about a needle in my spine than I was about having a baby. I have never been the kind of person who believed anybody when they told me I couldn't do anything. And so I just was determined to just push out my baby, and I did, and it was not that big of a deal. But through that process, I also wasn't able to breastfeed. I didn't hold him right away. I was really freaked out. And so I had kind of a traumatic becoming a mother experience. I was totally alone. The father of my child was actually in jail at the time. It was just kind of a crazy Lifetime movie network sort of situation. So I just did the best that I could with my first baby, who sometimes I lovingly call the first pancake, right? They're the ones that kind of test the griddle. So I went a couple years, and friends of mine would ask about my birth and why I did it naturally and how I did it naturally. And I've always been that kind of friend that people wanted to talk to and came to for support and advice because I'd been through a lot and I'd gained a lot of wisdom in that journey. And in 2000, a friend of mine asked if I would attend her birth and help her through it. And I did, and it was magic. It really was so incredible to be a part of that. And I left that situation knowing that I had really helped her and that I was like really kick-ass at it. And I just didn't really think anything beyond that. I kind of hoped that somebody would again one day ask me to attend their labor because I had no clue at the time what a doula was. I didn't know any of these things. I just knew that I loved doing that. So it was not until about 6 years later that I was asked again to attend another friend's labor. And we were reading a book by Ina May, and the word doula came up, and I was like, well, hot damn, I'm a doula. That's it for me. And so I decided to look into training. I decided to figure out exactly how I could go about doing this, and I became very determined in that. As of this last January, I've attended over 100 births, and so I'm very excited to celebrate that and to feel kind of accomplished. There's like a saying in the birth workers world that once you've seen 100 births, you've kind of seen all the kind of births that there can be, but you really need to see about 100 before you get to that point. So now I'm in that place where I really feel very, solid on the ground that I walk on as a doula, but it did take me a long time before I felt like I could really consider myself experienced.
What kind of doula are you?
What kind of doula am I? I am the kind of doula you need. I really hesitate to tell anybody how I'm going to doula them because doula work is so intuitive. So I would consider myself a knowledgeable doula. I go in there and I bring my knowledge with me and I bring my tools with me and I'm prepared to be as hands-on or as hands-off as this couple needs. My goal is always to bring together the mother and her partner and her baby as a unit. I really want her to remember, her partner's face more than my face. I want to teach the partner to be the support that she needs within their comfort level. So a lot of times prenatally, we're talking a lot about how do you foresee working together, where is the partner comfortable with being as a support. Some people just really aren't into that and are very, we've even had people who are very medically sketchy and so they can pass out, really easily, or, they're just not available. We've had military moms, where their husband just isn't there. And so we really kind of fill the gaps depending on what that person needs. And so it's always hard to say exactly how I'm going to doula somebody because you just don't know. We often get that woman who's like, oh, you're gonna have to rub my back all of the time, I just love massage. And then you get into her labor and she's like, don't freaking touch me. And so you have to just kind of go with that, you know, and it changes even contraction to contraction. You know, 1 minute I'll be pressing on a back and it feels so good to her, and then the next minute she's like, back off, you know, don't touch me. And so you just have to learn to not take it personally and to just kind of adjust and go with her flow and let her take the lead. And really our whole job, like I said, is just to fill gaps. You know, we see gaps of things that could be happening or ways to kind of make things better. You'd be so surprised how tiny details can make such a huge difference. You know, just such as like dimming the lights, or just having a little bit of soft music playing in the background, or a little bit of aromatherapy going. These little tiny details mean a lot in labor, and they can make all of the difference in how she feels, and how she feels affects how she opens. And so that's the whole idea, is to really just get her through as efficiently, as quickly, and as comfortably as possible. So more than anything, I just want you to know that I'm here to support you, however that looks for you. There are many ways that you can have a doula, either supporting your pregnancy or your birth. We don't even always necessarily work with people where we exclusively attend their births. We understand that that's not for everybody, so we do pregnancy doula packages where we will just help you prepare as best possible with all of this crazy knowledge that we've obtained in our brains. We'll hand it to you. You know, we really understand that people don't get pregnant and become pregnancy and birth experts overnight, and that it can be really overwhelming, all of the information that's out there, you know, on internet and in books and all of these things. And you'll get so many opinions from so many different people. More than anything, we just want you to know that we're here with the evidence-based information and with the loving support that you need to get you through, and that we're a resource really for you. And so if you need anything at all, please call us or give us an email. We're always here to help. Doula out. Just Mike.
There's some left.